Hello everyone, this is Brian Bentley at CoinOpTV bringing you gameplay and commentary for Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn on the PlayStation 3. So I'm jumping in here. This is the 5th mission in the Mobile Suit Gundam storyline. So there's probably 5 or 6 different main storylines that you can go through, and I went through, of course, Mobile Suit Gundam first, being that it's the first in the series. There are quite a few different, storylines in Gundam. I mean, there's Zeta, and my favorite, of course, is Gundam Wing with Hero Yui, which will be in another video. But that's the one. Gundam Wing happened to be the one that I ended up watching first. But so this is the original Mobile Suit Gundam. So they kind of have this, the storylines actually mapped in there, and they have some, decent narration at least. Of course, this being, Mobile Suit Gundam from, back in the day, the acting is very over the top, as you can see Amuro here, who is your main hero during the quest line. So after we get through a little bit of this narration and exposition, we get into the actual fighting. And this is a Dynasty Warriors game. There's no real pretense to it as far as the kind of gameplay you're going to get. There's going to be a lot of pressing square. You're going to press a lot of triangle, and occasionally you're going to hit the X button to dash, and so there's really not a whole lot of difference between this and say the review I did recently for Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition. And in truth, they have a really good formula, and they stick to it, and fans love it. I personally enjoy it myself, but you do start to feel the, that repetition sometimes at times. Now there are quite a few differences between Dynasty Warriors, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and Gundam. There's good and bad. Let's face it, who doesn't want to be a giant, a giant mech walking around? It's fun. I mean, maybe the storylines, for this particular anime series are quite over the top, but at the same time, who hasn't wanted to run and jump into a giant mech? Heck, Titanfall is a huge example of a game where a lot of times you're just waiting until you get time to jump into a giant mech. So here you have, your main attack, which is, your square button. There are varying attacks that you can do, so, square, triangle, square then triangle, or square, triangle will get you a different result. The square, triangle would be, you do 2 swings, and then you have this double bazooka. I think they call it the hyper bazooka. Not that, that's the hyper beam weapon. That's my beam weapon. But, I'm trying to see if I can actually come up with an example. So, there it is. There's square, triangle, where you have this kind of rocket launcher bazooka that comes out and attacks. And I'm going to use it to finish off this attack commander coming up, if I can ever get a hold of him. The one where I pull out the double beam swords, that is square, triangle. Here I'll finish off this particular attack commander with square, triangle. I realize I'm kind of being a little technical here, but I think it kind of gives you an idea that, different setups and combos can have different effects. Especially with, you notice some of those guys are down to their, kind of like the end of their life bars. And if you use either, like here, the beam weapon or the bazooka, it actually could trigger explosions, which then, you can chain the explosions, especially with, and granted, the attack commanders are not necessarily aces, we'll call them sergeants. A main guy would be considered an ace. But, so these, especially their attack commander, like these sergeants, if you can get, explode them near a bunch of other guys, that could have a chain reaction, which can rack up a lot of kills. So there's some, there's definitely something to be, so there is some strategy to it. It's not, it's not just a complete button masher. So what I really love is, besides the, I actually enjoy the Gundam story. It's very colorful. There's not much drab. There's very little drab in this game, and I think that is a huge positive for the game. Now, after I kill a few guys, I'm going to get to the next mission. I'm actually going to we're actually going to speed ahead a little bit, just because I do some running traversal, and it's now that I've gained the field, we're going to go ahead and as soon as I go and kill a couple guys or pick up that attack for 30 seconds. Now once I turn back, we're going to jump ahead just a little bit, probably about 30 guys worth. But it's a problem with all Dynasty Warrior games where if you're not near the action where they want you to be for the story beat, you end up running. So if you look at the map, you can see a large blue dot. That's where the white base is. That's kind of a ship, where your base of operations. And then now look where I'm up in the corner. So it took me about a minute and a half to get there. So there's kind of this traversal sometimes, which can be problematic. We'll say that. It's not my favorite part of the game, but there's really no way to put in any type of jump mechanic, like warp mechanic for it, because it really doesn't fit in the storyline, and it's not like I'm traversing a long time. I mean, I think that I finished this in this particular mission in just under 15 minutes. And okay, so a minute of it, and here's another prime example. Here I am. I have to run back to stop the GAW, which is a ship, to stop the Xenon forces. Oh, Xeon forces, not Xenon. My bad. So now the GAW is a ship, and unfortunately, what's going to happen here with this ship is it's going to show one of the great parts and one of the flaws of the game. So if you actually, now I don't do it a whole lot. Oh, by the way, where it says above my head, it says battleship attack. The white base is actually going to shoot for me. I'm going around me to help kill my enemies. So really, when that counter gets to 0, I want to be around as many people as humanly possible, because they're going to bombard that area around me. But of course, I get too consumed with this reinforcement commander. You'll also notice that there are red circles showing up on the ground, and I get blown up a bunch. Oh, here comes the firing. So boom, boom, boom. Now those are for me. Now those red ones are actually enemy. That's the GAW shooting. So so there really is quite a bit going on. So the GAW is trying to shoot me. See this guy Bombardier? There is also a counter above his head. And if that gets to 0, then the white base gets bombarded. Now, obviously, I don't want to lose the white base or the Jaburo core, which is where, like the headquarters core. But you can notice that there's a couple of guys floating above me, and the ship is floating above me. So when you actually kind of jump into a thrust mode, oh, that's nice. They have a couple of guys that got caught in the physics, so that's good. But I focus on the GAW, and I charge up and fire my beam weapon. But for some reason, even though that is what I'm locked onto, it doesn't always shoot that guy. So sometimes the dual plane, so I'm on the ground, and now I just jumped in the air. But this, where they have these two levels of plane, so there's on the ground and then there's in the air, and sometimes it works beautifully, like a champ. And there are other times like this where, there are a lot of times I will lock on to the ship. Well, I've already blown up the ship, but there's going to be another one. You'll see I'll lock onto the ship, and then I will fire in a completely different direction. And there are just times when that's very, very frustrating. But overall, I'm really enjoying the game. I love Gundam. I really enjoy Dynasty Warriors. And I find it very interesting. This is really like the first mission that when I've been playing the story missions where I failed. So if you look down at the bottom, it says mission, and it's bouncing back and forth. So there's a little yellow. There are two dots. One's yellow, and the other one's like grayed out, and it's bouncing back and forth to what the missions are. And even tells me there's a guy I can help, and I don't end up helping him. So he gets knocked out of the battle. So, this. So now I'm fighting to. I'm trying to do the mission that on the screen, not the find the enemy who set the bomb. I'm actually trying to do the other mission, which is shoot down the Gaw and stop the Zeon reinforcements. So, there was a point during this part where I'm trying to take on the Gaw. I'm having trouble. Like you saw me lock onto the ship. I fired in a completely different direction. But I'm trying to take down the Gaw because the Gaw is really close to the white base, which is sort of in the camp. You can see it there in the background. It looks like a lion's head attached to a ship. So I'm trying to focus on finishing this mission, and there is a point while I'm playing that I oh wow, I just got hit bad, where I realize I'm not going to be able to do both missions. And it does not force you into a game over, which is actually really nice. It didn't happen often, or right away, but I did end up realizing that I could target the Gaw, shoot the Gaw, and then there was a time where I was unable to focus on it, retarget it. So it took me a little bit longer than I probably should have to make that realization. But in the meantime, I'm trying to, here we go, and I fire a completely different direction. So the locking mechanism has varying degrees of success. I feel like it works a little better in the space combat when I'm in space, and that's going to be, I'm going to put up another video, and that's going to be a space video. This one is definitely one where we're on Earth doing our fighting here. Now, you'll notice that there's sort of like a red line around the area in which I'm fighting, and you'll notice I'm in kind of a light reddish area on the mini-map. You'll see I'm indicated by a green arrow. Now, those are called fields. Each individual field will spawn enemies if it's red, or spawn good guys if it's... there we go, I got the Gaw. So now that mission's completed, but now I only have 20 seconds to finish the other mission, which is not going to happen. So I decide to save the white base because there's some reinforcement commanders firing at the white base. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of those guys before, and I'm actually allowing the Jaburo core to be damaged. And there's really nothing I can do about it before I have to fight the end boss. So I failed that mission. So, now it's telling me to go and defend the Jaburo core, but man, I'd rather save the white base, even though basically either or would be a fail scenario. But I do like that there's, this idea that you can fail a mission in the level without actually like you don't get a game over screen. I have not seen if that means that somewhere down the line something else happens. We'll see. Now I'm about to crest over the 1,000 mark, so that'll give me some good points later. There's a little combat engineer. We're going to get him to fighting. So anyway, the fields. So the fields, and each field can either, generate good guys for me or generate bad guys that I will fight. I can have a chance. You'll notice that it says up in the top left corner, it's a strategic field, and when there's a bar there, it's telling me I have to defeat, a certain number of guys to get the field back. By having those stars there, it's telling me that I need to defeat the sergeants that are in the field. Now, I just used a special skill there, an SP skill, and so I do have a few more skills that I can use. So it's not just always necessarily, square, 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 triangle. I do like that you can upgrade the weapons on your Gundam. Like there are, a lot of things to collect. Like any Dynasty Warriors game or any other Japanese game, there's a lot of collectibles, a lot of upgrading that can be done, and upgrading the weapons on your Gundam actually will. Oh, we gotta see now. Of course, yes, I'm gonna have to fight. For anyone who's familiar with Mobile Suit Gundam. Char is kind of the main, I don't want to say the main bad guy, but, he's definitely you know, the person you as the hero are compared to, and you have to show your fighting spirit to defeat Char. But so yeah, so the fields, you know, they can turn the tides of battle. Some fields actually will, you know, they have little symbols. So like one has a wrench, it'll heal you, it'll heal your armor while you're, you know, in that field and it's your field. Others will bombard a certain area. So there are some. So controlling the field of battle is more than just going in and slashing guys and getting knockouts. I forget if they call them knockouts or destroying them. Whatever. So right now we have a bunch of Royal Guards that I'm kind of just focused on at the moment. Before I have to fight Char. Okay, now I'm about to unleash my well, okay, it's not called Musu in this. My burst. And you'll notice that while you're in burst mode, you can actually press circle, and it brings in your quote-unquote partner. And I think it's Kai who is my partner in this particular level. But there was you'll see it in the other video where I have a person who was previously a bad guy before this that I defeated. And it's, you know, because I defeated him, he was able to be chosen as a partner. So when we get to ultimate mode, I actually bring him, and he has one of those gauze, those things I destroyed earlier, and he comes and just bombards everything. It's great. So be sure to watch that video. While I'm on my way to defeating Char, please go ahead and like the video, and be sure to subscribe to the CoinOpTV YouTube channel. So you can get more on this game and all of the great titles that are coming out for the rest of the year. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for me. I am victorious, and the Zeon forces are retreating. So I guess that I will take my leave, and we'll see you next time.